Welcome to Relevant Happenings. In this video, we look at the details about Islamist movement and military organization called as Taliban. Kindly watch the full video to understand about Taliban and its relation to current situation in Afghanistan. So let's begin. A Islamist military organization called Taliban recently entered Afghanistan capital Kabul on 15th August. Afghanistan's President Ashraf Ghani has surrendered his power to the Taliban and has fled to Tajikistan with his close aides. After that, Taliban commander Abdul Ghani Baradar was declared as the new president of Afghanistan, and the first thing he did after becoming country head is that he changed the name of the country, Afghanistan, and it is now renamed as the Islamic Republic of Afghanistan. There has been utter chaos in Kabul with thousands running here and there to flee Afghanistan via Hamid Karzai airport in Kabul. Taliban, when translated from Pashto, which is an Eastern Iranian language, stands for students or seekers. They also refer to themselves as the Islamic Emirate of Afghanistan. Taliban is a Deobandi Islamist military organization that is estimated to have almost 2 lakh fighters. They had control over the country some 2 decades back, but they were removed from power in Afghanistan by the US-led forces in 2001. The group, however, remained active and has now sought power in the country and captured the presidential place. All this started with a rapid pace when USA began withdrawing all its forces almost after 2 decades of war, and USA will be completely withdrawing its forces by 11 September. The Taliban group had entered direct talks with the US in 2018, and in February 2020, a deal was struck between the two parties at the Doha Peace Deal, which called for Taliban to end its terrorist activities and the withdrawal of American troops from Afghanistan within 14 months. But it's clear that provisions of the peace accord are getting violated and there is no proper third-party negotiation, thus spreading the chaos further. Taliban have said that they aim to restore peace and security to Afghanistan, but only on condition that Western troops should leave the country. They also aim to enforce their own version of Sharia or Islamic law once they rise in power. Their own version of Sharia is their Islamic law under which they give harsh punishments to the people of the country. These punishments involve public execution of those convicted of murders, adultery, or theft. During their rule from 1996 to 2001, the women could not work and received punishments like stoning, whipping, and hanging in public. Apart from this, they have banned television, movies, cinema, music, and also disapproved of girls over the age of 10 going to school. The girls also faced various abuses culturally and based on human rights. Talibanians had also earlier destroyed the Bamiyan Buddha statues, and that move was highly condemned by the international organizations and many countries. Taliban emerged in the early 1990s in North Pakistan when the Soviet troops from Afghanistan withdrew. As information by various media reports, the Taliban people in their initial days appeared in various religious seminars only. Later, when they got the money from Saudi Arabia and started preaching the restricted form of Sunni Islam. Later, Taliban extended their influence from southwestern Afghanistan, captured the province of Herat, and overthrew the then president Burhanuddin Rabbani within just 1 year of the event. By 1998, the Taliban had control of over almost 90% of Afghanistan. Talking about India's position in the situation, India did not recognize the Taliban regime in Afghanistan and instead maintained close strategic and military ties with the Northern Alliance to contain the rise of Taliban during the 1990s. India was one of the closest allies of former Afghan President Muhammad Najibullah and strongly condemned his public execution by the Taliban. Pakistan and Kashmir-based militant groups have ties with the Taliban and have historically been involved in the Kashmir insurgency targeted against Indian security forces that we have seen happening over the years. One of the most prominent incidents that took place in December 1999 when Indian Airlines Flight 814 en route from Kathmandu to Delhi was hijacked and taken to Kandahar. The Taliban moved its militias near the hijacked aircraft to prevent Indian special forces from storming to the aircraft and stalled the negotiations between India and the hijackers for days. As a part of the deal to free the plane, India had to release 3 militants that were in Indian jail at that time. The Taliban also gave a safe passage to the hijackers and the released militants to reach Pakistan. This incident is a proof of Taliban being involved with Pakistan and Kashmir-based militant groups. Following the hijacking incident, Indian government had drastically increased its efforts to help Afghanistan Democratic government to tackle Taliban by providing an arms depot in Dushanbe, Tajikistan. India also provided a wide range of high-altitude warfare equipment, helicopter, technicians, medical services, and tactical advice to Afghanistan government. According to one report, Indian military support to anti-Taliban forces totaled up to $70 million, including 5 mil Mi-17 helicopters and $8 million worth of high-altitude equipment in 2001. India extensively supported the new administration in Afghanistan, leading several reconstruction projects by building dams, parliament, roads, and bridges. India has three critical areas to deal with the Taliban now. Firstly, India has to protect its investments made of billions of rupees in Afghanistan, also preventing a future Taliban regime from being a supporter of Pakistan, and then making sure that the Pakistan backed anti Indian terrorist groups do not get support from the Taliban as well. The wisest move for India right now would be to sit on the sideline, observe how the situation unfolds in Afghanistan, and then take any decision. All major Western nations have already condemned the Taliban's takeover and are scurrying to evacuate their citizens from the nation. Hence, it would be crucial to see what steps different governments all over the world will take together with United Nations involvement to ensure establishment of peace in Afghanistan. It's difficult to predict anything, as in diplomatic relations, there are no friends and no enemies. There are only agents that suit to some and do not suit to others. So these were the relevant details regarding Taliban and its reason for being in news nowadays. I hope that after watching the video, you would have got a fair picture of the issue. For watching more relevant current affairs, do check out other videos and subscribe to our channel. Thank you.